Well, a very, very good afternoon to you here from the Laithwaite Community Stadium for this National League game between Woking and Bromley. Two sides that know each other very, very well from the playoff quarter-finals at the end of last season. On that occasion, it didn't go too well for Woking. They were eliminated at that point, and then Bromley were knocked out after extra time against Chesterfield, who then went on to lose in their final, and they remain in the league, of course. Well, fortunes for both these sides. 17 players in for each side over the summer. That's a lot of changes, a lot of players to get used to the different managers' tactics, thoughts and approaches to these matches here, and this one has got the makings of a very, very good game indeed. I spoke to Darren Sarl on Tuesday night. He said he doesn't tend to think about anything that happened on that cold night back in May when they were eliminated in the playoffs, because it was such a long time ago and the players are so different. But joining me in the commentary this time is John Moore. I'm sure you were there for that game, John. It was a disappointing one from Woking's point of view, and this season hasn't gone to plan so far either.
Good afternoon, everyone. No, you're absolutely right. I was just thinking back about that game, really, where, you know, Woking were the favourites. They were the home side, but they got undone later on. They even took the lead, but it wasn't to be, and they've suffered from a bit of a hangover after that, and indeed Bromley did to start with, but they're absolutely flying, and it's going to be very tough today.
It most certainly is. I'll give you the teams in just a few moments. I think the trickiest thing I'm going to have to do today is explain just what the Bromley football kit looks like, because it's very bright, it's very we'll come to that in just a few moments time. I'm struggling with it already. Let's give you the team sheets, then we'll give you the kind of backstory of the two sides, and we'll start with the away side, Bromley. Well, they start with Grant Smith in goal, the familiar Grant Smith in goal. He's been a mainstay of the side. Then a back three or back five, depending on how you want to look at it, with Chinwiki, Okoli, Byron Webster and Deji Elaru. He is in the right-hand side of the three in the centre of defence. Then we have Bez Topoloj on the left-hand side, the wing-back position. Josh Parsley on the right-hand side as wing-back. Then a midfield pairing of Lewis Lee and Jude Arthurs. Ahead of them, Corey Whiteley, Michael Cheek, the danger man really, with 7 goals already this season, and Olafella Olamola, he's up front alongside him. Their substitutes, Teddy Sharman-Lowe, Callum Reynolds, Sam Woods, Louis Dennis and Todd Miller. From Woking's point of view, entirely unchanged starting 11. Will Yaskalainen starts in goal. Back 4, Dan Moss, Scott Cuthbert, Timmy Odosina and Josh Casey, the captain, on the left-hand side. Rowan Ince and Zach Bradshaw make up the midfield pairing just ahead of them, more defensively for Rowan Ince. Then we have 3 ahead of those, Lewis Walker, Morgan Williams and Dennis Lewis. They'll be interchanging away, and Reece Brown ahead of those at the very top of the field. Subs, well, Greg Taylor stays on the bench, so does Armand, Charlie Wakefield, Alfie Pavey, and in comes Reece Gregor Cox, but very much unchanged starting 11. Big huddle there from Bromley. Woking shooting from left to right as we look on here in their familiar home strip of the red and white shirts, black shorts and white socks. And Bromley, well, I'm going to allow John to try and explain their kit.
Thanks for that. It's a mixture of pink, blue, grey, and it's almost like a... somebody's got a paintbrush and kind of flicked it.
It's like shirt. My daughter has just been given all the colours of the rainbow and gone wild on a shirt. It's very bright. I do like it, actually.
It's like a Pollock painting, isn't it?
It's certainly much like a Pollock painting, yeah. So fluorescent, luminous pink socks. We work our way up, so they then have these shorts that they've got stripes all over them, but they're kind of purple and blue, and then a bit of pink on the shirts that works up to a light blue, I suppose, at the top with pink piping. It's a very nice football kit indeed, very bright and colourful. We've got underway here, just underway, moments into this game, and the ball shepherded off for a goal kick straight away. The Bromley players, well, they're calling for a corner, but there was no chance that was going to be given as a corner kick, and Will Yaskalainen gets his first chance to hold on to the ball and get things really underway from a Woking perspective. But that's a fairly standard start to a National League game, either goes off for a throw or a goal kick.
Yeah, and of course, inevitably Woking must keep an eye on Michael Cheek. He is their talisman. He always seems to do well against Woking. Corey Whiteley is another player who Woking need to keep an eye on.
Corey Whiteley scored their winning goal against Dorking on Tuesday night in the 95th minute. So they scored that one. Talking about form, really, well, Bromley are the form team. They lost the first 2 games of the season. They've lost 1 in the next 15 games, and that was a 2-0 defeat against league leaders Chesterfield. So they are a very, very strong team. Their home form is spectacular. 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Away from home, 2 wins, 4 draws and 2 defeats. They've only scored 8 in 8. So they may not be that prolific on the road, but maybe that's jinxing things. Ball goes out on the far side, then Cuthbert put it out left-footed, and it goes for a Bromley throw-in halfway inside the Woking half on the far side. We say Bromley shooting from right to left, away from the big main stand, the Seymour stand, community stand off to our right-hand side. Woking looking very composed in these early stages, keeping their shape. Topology on the ball right now, just turns his man, and the free kick goes. You heard the whistle there. Dan Moss just got his foot in, but did exactly what he needed to do, just showing him he was there and reminding Topology he's going to have a bit of an afternoon on that left-hand side. On Bromley come. Coley just with the ball. It's now gone right back to the Bromley defence, out onto the left-hand side. Alaraway had the ball just then. He played it forward, but it's been cut out by Rowan Ince, who looked up looking for Reece Brown on the right-hand side, but it was cut out by Alaraway. Bromley have it once again, pushing the back there from Odosina, who had a really, really good performance in the heart of the Woking defence on Tuesday night away at Eastleigh. That's a hard place to go, Eastleigh, and get a win. It's hard to get a draw there, but a win in particular.
Yeah, very much Woking's bogey ground as well. Mind you, there are a few of those.
And a lot of teams have Eastleigh as a bogey ground as well, I have to say. Well, the flick on there just came off the head of Lewis Walker, who is now moved more into the centre, but they do like to move around there. On Tuesday night, Denon Lewis, who played on the left-hand side, was often interchanged by Walker, who'd switched from the right-hand side. Long goal kick, or long kick out even from the goalkeeper. Header was won from Bromley, but it goes straight back into the hands of Jaskalainen, who looks to bowl it out to the right-hand side to Dan Moss and thinks better of it, and he goes to do it again. He was very quick with releasing the ball on Tuesday night at Eastleigh. I think that was part of the game plan for Woking, was to get the ball out very, very quickly to either channel. Dan Moss picks up the ball. The ball was won on the right-hand side, and Woking still trying to retain the ball, but it's been won back once again by Topolage, who plays it down the channel, but it's been cut out by Odosina, who plays it back to the goalkeeper. In fact, he doesn't. It's just been cut out, in fact. It was well won. And that was by Olamola, who's on the ball right now, and he rolls it back once more. And this is Corey Whiteley, who's on the ball on the left-hand side, but it's gone out for a throw in there. Well defended from Woking on that side. Would you say it's a nervy start then, John, or would you say it's as anticipated?
As anticipated, really. You can tell that Bromley are full of confidence. They're knocking the ball around, finding space, passing to feet.
Was a great crowd here in the Laithwaite Community Stadium. I can tell you that. A lot of fans behind the goal off to our left-hand side, and the big stand off to the right, the Seymour Community Stand, is also looking pretty full, which is great to see here on what is a fairly mild Saturday afternoon. As Woking have possession, bring it just inside the Bromley half, sliding the ball forward, beautifully done just there, and the ball played out to the right-hand side now. And it is Williams on the ball. He plays it to Dan Moss, who puts it across, stands up pretty high, and the ball was won by the Bromley defender, but it comes out to a left-footed shot just there by Zach Bradshaw, and it went just skewed off wide there from his left foot and goes for a Bromley goal kick. But a good start there maybe from Woking. They're looking composed, even if they are under the cosh a little bit.
Yeah, first passing move from Woking, playing between the lines. Shame about Bradshaw's shot, but it's good to see them trying to keep the ball on the deck.
Absolutely right. Well, in comes that goal kick, and it's won by the Bromley attacker, but then put up very high by that was Odosina, and it goes out for a throw on the far side to Woking. Ball goes forward, but it's cut out by Alaraway. Woking trying to close down these Bromley players as quickly as they can. It has gone out for a throw-in on the far side just there. So Darren Sarle's game plan on this one, what do you think, John? Just to get at them straight away?
Well, I think it's, to make sure that really they keep it tight at the back. That's the important thing, and don't give away silly goals at silly times. It's really cost Woking this season. They've thrown away so many points.
This is a side that don't traditionally concede many goals. They conceded 23 in the entire 46 games last season. Don't often score many goals. I think they scored 48 last season in the 46 games. So goals don't come plentifully for Woking, and they are quite tight, miserly in defence. But so far this season, it's not gone quite to plan for them. They sit 10th in the National League, the home side. So it's not all doom and gloom, and you can change things very quickly in this division.
Yeah, and once they get their better players back, the likes of Kellerman is a huge miss for them.
Well, Woking have the ball on the right-hand side, and it was Reece Brown who tried to bring the ball down there, but it was just put out for a Woking throw-in right on the corner flag, in fact. And Dan Moss, will he wind himself up for a long throw, or is he going to think slightly differently here and give it to Morgan Williams, who looks like he's asking for it? Reece Brown moving forwards. No one's really giving Williams much movement, but Reece Brown takes it down, plays it back. On the right-hand side, Dan Moss has it. He plays it down the channel, but the Bromley defender just shields it out, and it goes for a corner kick, in fact. So he shielded it. I think he must have just clipped it with his foot, and it goes for a Woking corner.
Let's see if Woking can do something from this corner. Good set-piece delivery is required from Casey, and he's improved these no end.
It's going to be a left foot in swinger, and in it comes from the captain, very, very deep there, and it had to be defended, and it was headed over the crossbar. It just needed a Woking player to attack it. It was a free header in a position that was so dangerous.
Yeah, it was a great delivery from Casey, and as you say, really the likes of Cuthbert normally is on the back stick, and you'd have expected him to have been there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just waiting for this corner to come in. It's going onto the far side, and it's going to be a right foot in swinger. Cuthbert there being a bit of a menace, you can see, just trying to push everyone around at the moment. In comes the corner. It's a right foot in swinger, punched by the goalkeeper, double-fisted punch just there, and it's Moss, looks like he was going for the ball, then waited, and now he's just shepherding the ball out himself, and it goes for a Woking throw-in just in front of the dugout here, about 10 yards inside the Bromley half on this near side, and Moss is going to be the one to take it.
Good punch though from Grant Smith. He was under a lot of pressure, but he got a lot of distance on it.
In comes the throw. And, well, everyone seems to be ducking away from it, but Reece Brown has the ball now. And in it comes from Reece Brown. Defended, goes off for another corner kick to Woking.
So some good early pressure from the Cards.
Quick update for you, just hearing that Dorking Wanderers have taken the lead at home to Aldershot Town. Currently occupying the playoff position. That will please the Woking fans around here.
No comment.
No comment, of course. In comes the corner, then left foot in swinger from Josh Casey, and it almost landed on the head of Ince, but just beaten away. And Woking once again clearing up with Dan Moss, who puts it out for a throw-in on the far side, halfway inside the Bromley half. Nicely done there from Dan Moss. He read the danger and closed it out very quickly before it could develop.
But another great delivery from Casey.
Yeah, absolutely right.
As I say, he's improved as a player, no end, since Woking have switched to being full-time. Everything about his game is so much better.
Yeah, you're right. In comes that throw. Won by the Bromley, head flicked on, but Cuthbert then gets his head to it, and now a couple of flicks from Woking here when really they should be getting the ball a bit more under control, because it was just a lazy foot almost, that flicked it across, and it is now on the left-hand side Topoloj who has it, and he's just lost the ball. It was held on for too long, and Rowan Ince did what Rowan Ince does so well. He closed the space down, and now Williams has it on the right-hand side, and he's trying to play it up to Reece Brown, who's taken a nice little touch there. Very, very talented on the ball, Reece Brown. Sometimes holds onto it a bit too long, but he's back on the ball right now, and they can't get it off him. Then they can, and away they come with it, with Whiteley on the ball, and he threads the ball through to the right-hand side, and it now looks like Michael Cheek has it on the far side. Only one player looking for it in the middle. He rolls it back to the edge of the area, just behind the attacking player, and that allows Rowan Ince to get the ball away. He plays it off to the right-hand side. Woking in control once again. Bit scrappy at moments here between Woking and Bromley as they both try and get themselves composed. Cuthbert has it now for Woking in defence. No one doing anything too stupid at the moment. A couple of chances have gone Woking's way, but they're not the greatest chances, are they? Very heavily hit pass just there, but it was controlled by Williams, who puts it down the side to Moss, who slide rule pass down the wing, and it goes out. shepherded out there by the Bromley defence. They'll eat those up all afternoon, won't they, John? That's the trouble, this Bromley defenders.
Yeah, they will, but you know, the game has started in a good way. Both teams trying to play it on the deck, trying to keep possession.
Very much. Let's have a look around the ground. So it's 0-0 between Boreham Wood and Southend. Dorking 1, Aldershot Town 0. Just waiting for my score sheets to update. Ebbsfleet 0, Dagenham 0. Gateshead are losing 1-0 at home to Fylde. Hartlepool 0, Rochdale 1. 0-0 everywhere else around the National League at this stage. We're in the 12th minute of this one, or coming into the 12th minute of this one here, and it's Woking 0, Bromley 0. Going to be giving you an update very soon on BBC Radio Surrey, so just bear with me on this one. Here comes Walker on the ball. He brings it forward, but the referee's whistle goes, and it is a Bromley free kick just inside their own half. And it was Alaraway who went down. It's a pretty imposing figure, Alaraway, but he went down pretty easily there. Did exactly what he needed to do. Anyway, we're going to go up live on BBC Radio Surrey in just a few moments' time. Well, I'll tell you what, Rob, it's a pretty cagey affair. Woking have had a couple of very half chances, I suppose you could call it, if you can call it a very half chance. They had a couple of corners that came in, and if, big capital letter if, somebody was at the far post, they could have dispatched it maybe into the corner. But really, it's been very tight, been very cagey. Bromley don't score a lot on the road. They've scored 8 in 8, but they are the form team, of course. And Woking can be very, very tight in defence as well, especially if you think of Woking from last season. So 0-0 currently in the 13th minute here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. Well, on Woking come with the ball, and it's Rowan Ince on it right in the centre, and he could have played it forward, but he chose the right decision there, and that was to roll it back, in fact, to Cuthbert, who had a really solid performance. He's very, very reassuring presence in the back of this Woking team. Dan Moss has it on the right-hand side, plays it back into the centre. Bit of table tennis passing almost, actually, between Dan Moss and Odesina. And he rolls it back now to Will Jaskalainen. So it has been very cagey. I think maybe that's what Darren will want early on in this game here as the ball goes out on this near side for a Bromley throw way in their own half. Yeah, and it's good to see Rowan Ince out there looking more like his old self. You know, when I've seen him when he came back from injury, he looked so unfit and off the pace. But bit by bit, game by game, he's getting back to the sort of player that we know he can be. And he's such an important player for Woking in that middle of the park. Just gets a foot in, breaks play up. Hugely experienced player as well. Played 91 times for Brighton in the Championship. So he's extremely experienced. Joined Woking back in 2021. Just gets his foot in there as well. That is exactly what you want from Rowan. Is get himself about. And here come Woking, edge of the area. It's just been cleared up though by the Bromley defence. Just taken off the toe of the Woking attacker, and here come Bromley once again. Olamola was looking up at Michael Cheek on the left hand side, but well defended from Woking, and Dan Moss got his foot in, played it back to the goalkeeper, and on Woking come once again on the left hand side with their captain Josh Casey bringing it forward. He plays it once again towards Reece Brown, who's on the ball, and he's dispatched or taken away from him. And now here come Bromley. They're starting to build a bit of momentum now. Bromley trying to find some space in his little through balls to Michael Cheek, but that one was cut out, and Rowan Ince has it for Woking. Starting to play it around again. Dan Moss has it on the right. A couple of players calling for it, but no one really giving him anything. That's the trouble. And Walker just fell over under his own weight, I think, just there. But that's the trouble. When I'm looking at Woking getting the ball, they're looking up, Dan Moss in particular, looking up, and no one seems to be moving for him. Yeah, you see Walker was having to come back into midfield to get the ball. You want him much higher up the pitch, you know, he's the centre forward. Well, here come Woking on the attack inside the Bromley half. Now the ball goes across and headed away just there by the Bromley defender. That was an attack from nothing, but they are still on it right now. Dan Moss has it on the right-hand side, just on the edge of the area, plays it across to Rowan Ince. Fans shouting man on to Rowan Ince, but he manages a little Cruyff turn there, keeps the ball. Back to Dan Moss. Down the line he goes to Walker. Walker to Williams. Back to Moss, he puts her across on the floor and left foot clearance there from the Bromley defender right on the penalty spot. But in truth there, John, there were no Woking players when that ball was played, and it was a really good place to put a ball as well.
Yeah, you want your midfield players gambling and trying to get in there, get on the end of things.
It's been a very tight, cagey game so far, but Reece Brown has it on the left-hand side, plays it to Casey, back to Brown on the left-hand side once again. Brent Lucas here. Alongside me is John Moore, bringing you this commentary of this National League game. In comes the... Oh, that was a whipped cross on the left-hand side. And it could have been dangerous. Just played over the head, though, of the target man. And it went off on the far side. But that was a reminder, I think, if Bromley needed one, that Woking can deliver if they're given too much space.
Yeah, good early signs from Woking. You know, they are playing well. It's good to see them playing with confidence as well, spraying it all around, using the width, using the pitch, trying to find space.
I have to say, you could see the team growing in confidence on Tuesday night, in fact, away at Eastleigh as well. They really did boss that one. And they have the ball once again now. And they did for a moment. The trouble is, when the ball gets put forward, invariably it's going high and the Bromley players are able to clear it. They don't concede many on the road either, Bromley. Just over one a game, in fact, for a side sitting third in the National League. And a reminder of their form, though. They lost their first 2 games of the season. They've only lost 1 in the next 15. And that ball was played out to the left-hand side. Oh, and just overhit. It was played really nicely down the left-hand channel from the right-hand side. And Bez Topoloj, the left-sided defender, just couldn't quite get there in time as the ball disappears off for a Woking throw-in deep in their own half, in line really with about the penalty spot, in fact, 18 yards in or so. Here it comes. Dan Moss launches a long throw. And Webster, very, very physical Webster. Byron Webster, the centre-back, one of the centre-backs. Anyway, they've got 3 this Bromley side. Big launched clearance there from the goalkeeper, Grant Smith, won by Cuthbert. Woking have it again once more with Rowan Ince. Nice little header there. It was a hard bounce for him, actually, but he managed to read it well. And the ref blows for a free kick to Woking. I think it was the right decision. The ankle's just clipped there by the Bromley player, the Bromley midfielder, taking down... it wasn't Reece Brown. Who is it? Oh, it's no, it's not. Who is it that was taken down, actually, on the far side? Can't quite see.
Walker, it was.
It was Walker, was it? No lasting damage.
Son of Des, of course.
Yes. He's a bit of a star, isn't he, Des Walker? Not sure what he's doing right now, Des Walker.
No.
Everybody's hero from the late 80s, wasn't he, really? Well, in comes the free kick, and it's going to be taken by the captain, Josh Casey, left foot, and he's launched it far towards Rowan Ince. And it goes out for a throw-in, I think. Doesn't look like, is it a corner? I'm not sure. No, it looks like a throw.
Know. But couldn't again, great delivery from Casey, picking out Ince.
He gives so much, doesn't he, Casey, on that left-hand side? A really big outlet. He gets down the side every time, always looks to the channel, puts in a really nice cross.
And he's very much Woking's leader on the pitch. You know, when he's not playing, I always think Woking are much weaker.
Well, it is a corner kick, and it is going to be a left foot in swinger. In it comes. And it's not the greatest one. Played a bit short to the front post, and no one really attacking it. That was the commentator's curse.
It was. John, he's allowed to do one poorly.
That's his one, is it? That's the one you're giving him. Okay. Well, it is 0-0 here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium in the 20th minute of this National League game between Woking and Bromley. Sides that know each other very, very well, particularly from the playoffs, the back end of last season. Woking finishing 4th in the National League last season, currently sitting in 10th place. It's not gone quite to plan from this year, but a bit of momentum and it can change things. And they got that nice win away at Eastleigh on Tuesday night that we've been talking about, showing more signs of confidence, but they haven't won here in the league. I know they won in the FA Cup in the last qualifying round against Hemel Hempstead here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, so they can win here, but they haven't won in the league since September the 28th, August the 28th, sorry, and that was that game against Dorking Wanderers. So it's a long time in the making.
Yeah, it is. Of course, they've had several opportunities to win since, not least against Ebbsfleet, where, you know, they conceded late on. York was another one. I could go on, but I won't.
Yeah,
it's too depressing.
And that game against Dagenham where they conceded the goal to Effiong in the 93rd minute. Just happens, doesn't it? They were down to 10 men at that point, Woking, but ifs and maybes and buts, that sort of thing, can change a lot of things, can't it, in football? Here come Bromley on the attack on the left-hand side once more. Topolage on the ball. He played it a little bit short to Olomola. It's now gone back to the left-hand side of the Bromley defence. The ball stood up high, but it goes out for a throw-in to Woking. Halfway inside their own half. In fact, it's gone out for a throw-in to Bromley. It must have flicked off the Woking player. I didn't see that one there. Better put my glasses back on. We're going to be going live on BBC Radio Surrey in just a few moments for an update as Bromley have the ball in the heart of their defence with Webster. In comes the cross from him and Cuthbert misses it. It goes to the far side. Ball's put across. Flag's gone up for an offside. Much to the delight of the faithful Woking fans. So like I say, we'll be live on BBC Radio Surrey in just a few moments. Yeah, thanks very much there, Rob. I tell you what, this one is still very, very cagey. There have been no goals at either end, no significant chances either. Bromley thought they were through just then, but the flag went up for an offside. But it is in the 22nd minute, Woking 0, Bromley 0. Woking on the ball on the far side. Ball stood up to the back stick and beyond, but it goes out for a goal kick to Bromley. And this is a bit of the story of kind of what happened against Eastleigh, that Woking were getting through down the channels into the lines, but they weren't really finding anybody on a target in the middle. And that's much not knocking Reece Brown at all, because we know he can stick them in, but he's not a tall guy. He's not a big sort of meaty forward, is he? He's a very sort of slight figure, very, very skillful with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, all Woking's forwards are quite pacey. They're mobile, but they're not the biggest.
Yeah, that's right.
And at the minute, they're not getting much joy. You know, I think what Woking have got to try and do is get Denon Lewis more involved. They've got to try and stretch the play a little bit more, try and use the width, particularly on the left. You know that Denon Lewis is very quick, and I'd like to see him running down that flank and taking his full-back on.
Well, in came a cross there for Bromley on the far side, whipped across to the 6-yard line, really right on the edge of the box, I suppose. And it must look like a clash of heads, but the ball did go out on the far side, on the near side, sorry.
It was a very important header from Dan Most. It really, really was.
It's going to be a right foot in swing, and then for Bromley off to our left-hand side in this 24th minute. In it comes. And the ball taken down and then cleared away, but that was taken off of the Bromley player's foot. Reece Brown looks up. There's a bit of a breakaway here for Woking, but it's not put in enough from Reece Brown. But Woking keep the ball now. They've got the ball on the right-hand side, but Morgan Williams on it, and he's just lost it now. And Bromley manages to get that one back, and Webster clears it left-footed, but Dan Moss has it once again, and he plays it back to Odosina, who rolls it back to Will Yaskalainen. The break was on, just didn't get enough on it there, Reece Brown, to get it over the defender's head when he had 2 or 3 players running through.
Yeah, and then Williams found himself in a good position, but he got muscled out of it. And, you know, that's the difference, isn't it, between playing under 23s and men's football. That's
right, and they're a big unit, this Bromley defence. The ball comes in once again, and it's cleared. Not massively cleared away. Woking still keep the ball now. It's whipped in on the left foot. Oh, a very nice left foot whipped in cross just there. And the diving header from the Bromley defender managed to put that one out. That was Chin Okoli who got that one out. And it goes for a corner kick to Woking in the 25th minute here. Woking can create opportunities. We know they can do that. But at the moment, they're just missing it in the final third, and it's a bit frustrating if you're a Woking fan, but positive in the fact that they are getting through at least into these final third positions and causing Bromley a few headaches.
Well, this is what, their 4th corner, so, you know, you'd like to think they could capitalise perhaps on a set play. Definitely got the height with Ince and Cuthbert.
Looks like Ince is going to be the target. This one, he's been muscled around at the moment, but he's moving forward now. In comes the cross, right-footed in swing. Oh, and it just flashed past a couple of Woking players. It looked like it was going to come off the foot of Ince. He just couldn't quite extend his foot off just there. It was flicked away, and it goes off for a Bromley goal kick. But that had the makings of a chance. It just wasn't quite going to go to the script that you'd written.
Yeah, it was a great delivery again. It had pace. And I'm not sure really what happened. It's difficult for us to see, but I do wonder whether somehow a Woking player didn't quite get the contact on it that they would have liked.
Yeah, I certainly think you might be right with that one there, John. It was close, but no cigar. Well, here comes the goal kick, and flicked on there by the Bromley midfielder, but Cuthbert shields it out, and it does just go, in fact, for a goal kick.
Darren Saul wanted Jääskeläinen to play it quickly to Moss, but it's not to be.
Well, Darren Saul got booked on Tuesday night.
Yeah, why?
I think he was about half a foot outside of the technical area.
That's pathetic, isn't it? It really is.
It was either that, there were two players, there was him and the assistant manager there in the coaching box, and you're not allowed to have two in the technical area. It was a bit nitpicking, and I think he just found it quite amusing, actually.
It's pathetic.
It was very much so. Rules are rules, though, John, as they always say.
Well, silly rules are there to be broken.
Silly rules, very much so. But he's not been booked yet in this game, Darren Saul. I'm not sure how many bookings you can have as a manager before you get a touchline ban. Is it 5 like a player? Who knows?
I don't know.
Be some doing if you got 5 bookings as a manager, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's a goal kick to Woking off to our left-hand side. Will Jääskeläinen moves it right into the centre of that 6-yard line, as they do now. Plays it to the right-hand side. Oh, and a missed control there. Odosina missed control, and I don't know why the referee gave that as a free kick there to Woking. That was beyond me. Odosina, well, the ball was passed to him. He miscontrolled it. As he went towards the ball, he then sort of collapsed as he was trying to reach for it, as was the Bromley player, and that was Olamola. They both clashed, and the ref gave a free kick to Woking. I'm not quite sure I agree there.
See, I see the game differently. I think it was a foul. Because
Okay.
I think he did make contact with him. I get it's a physical game, but to me, I think he did kind of bowl him over. But it was a heart-stopping moment for a minute.
Certainly was.
Goodness me.
And it all came down to Odosina with a miscontrol. So whichever way you see it,
you know, give him credit. He did recover his composure.
He did. He certainly got back up very, very quickly. He plays the ball off to the right-hand side now to Dan Moss. He rolls it back once again to Odosina, who'll be looking to move on very, very quickly from that, and he has done immediately. He's very, very assured in this position. Accomplished defender. He played so well on Tuesday night, and so far that's the only thing he's done wrong in this game, and he got away with it, so it doesn't really matter. Move on, as they say.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased to see him out there. You know, I think he's got quality and he's got pace, which is really, really important.
Jääskeläinen launches the ball up the field, and Woking retain possession on the far side. They've still got it at the moment. Jinking run, and it comes back to Josh Casey. He puts it into the feet of Reece Brown on the edge of the area. He rolls it back again. A nice little left-footed cross in once again, delicately done, but doesn't really go anywhere except to Zach Bradshaw, who plays it back out to the left-hand side. Reece Brown keeps coming very deep to receive these balls. He takes a shot right-footed, and the keeper down. No real drama for the goalkeeper. Just saved it nice and easily, clutched it to his chest as he lay on the floor there, but it was a good move there, and Woking did start to create chances. And there was me saying Reece Brown coming deep to collect the ball, then he launches a shot from around 25 yards.
Yeah, that was Reece Brown at his best. He's got such quick feet and an eye for goal.
Bit of rain happened just before kick-off as well, so that you'd imagine that it's quite a greasy surface out there, so it's well worth having a shot from 25-30 yards if you can keep it low.
And I think more rain is forecast.
I would have thought so. It's about time we had the right sort of weather for the season. Well, Woking have it, plays the ball out to Moss on the right-hand side, who plays it down the line, and it's Williams trying to get after it, but it's a bit too far for him, and Bromley back to the keeper, left-footed, and he was being closed down by 2 Woking players, and the ball ends up with Darren Saul, and straight back into the arms of Moss, and well, the referee's just telling him he's got to go back about 10 yards or so to the halfway line, so Moss reverses. Then comes that throw in from Moss. And again, the stature is the problem for Woking when you get up the field, because they can't win these headers. They're just out-muscled every time. And Cheek brings the ball down right in his own half, plays it off to the left-hand side. It goes out for a throw into Woking, and, well, what, 31 minutes into this game, John, and Michael Cheek has been very, very quiet so far, touch wood.
Yeah, but he's that sort of player, you know, he can just pop up in the box and score a goal. Woking got to keep a close eye on him.
Ever the optimist, eh? In comes the throw-in, and Woking have it on the left-hand side. Nicely played, but just cut out from the Bromley player. Not sure who it was on the far side, but it was well dealt with. I think it was Okoli actually. He put it out there sliding, and he puts the ball out for a throw into Woking. It's going to be Josh Casey that takes it, just in line with the edge of the area for Woking. Casey has it once again, one touch, flicks it, rebounds off the Bromley midfielder, who's now, well, he's on the floor, is Lewis Lee, and he's just holding his special place, shall we say. I think that's where the ball ended up, so I think the referee will give him some sympathy as he heads over there and has a little word with him.
I'm never quite sure when a player's right over on the touchline why they can't just get off the pitch. I mean, really?
I think the referee's showing him some sympathy, though, because of where the ball ended up, more than anything else.
I wouldn't.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it is going to be a corner for Woking. As we say, the 32nd minute, this one, it's going to be a right foot in-swinger. Very blustery. You can hear it on the microphones being picked up here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. This wind is spinning around this stadium, which has the big stand off to our right-hand side. Very open across the way from us in the Charles Laws Terrace. About to get underway once again. It's a short corner. And Reece Brown has it just on the edge of the area. He takes it inside, left foot cross there. It's gone deep. It's gone too deep. There's a nice little cross. Nice idea, though, from Reece Brown. Morgan Williams has it now on the right-hand side. He plays the ball in. One touch from Reece Brown once again. Second touch. I think he's going to roll it out to Dan Moss on the right-hand side. In that cross comes, and once again dealt with by the Bromley defence. And the referee blows the whistle when, I don't know, the Bromley player was climbing all over Reece Brown, I'd say, but the referee gave that as a free kick to Bromley. It's a weird one, those, John. Sometimes you see referee calls it that the aggressor is backing into the defender and causing that action, but I see it the other way.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I didn't think Moss made a back at all. But anyway, it is what it is. But again, Woking just probing away at the moment, aren't they? It's just that final ball, though.
It's what they did pretty much against Eastleigh on Tuesday night, and then it was Denon Lewis who scored an absolutely brilliant goal. The first minute, the only minute of time added on at the end of the first half. Wouldn't they love that here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium? Woking in control of the ball now on the far side. Ref blows the whistle there. Oh, he's given it. No, it's a free kick. I think ref blew the whistle, but Woking just wanted to get on with it there rather than putting it down and taking the free kick. Just out-muscled. Josh Casey has it. He's going to take this free kick on the far side. Just, I mean, a yard inside the Bromley half. In it comes. It's a low pass to Reece Brown. It just stood up as he tried to control it, but they keep it once again with Denon Lewis. Denon Lewis back to Josh Casey, who plays it off the Bromley defender, and it goes, or Bromley attacker in fact, it goes for a throw into Woking on the far side.
But Woking doing the right thing, you know, try and play it into feet of Brown, because he's surprisingly strong for a little guy.
Yeah.
His hold-up play is good, and if he can just work the space, you know, it might create opportunities.
Low centre of gravity, very hard to knock off the ball, Reece Brown. Very, very good feet, both feet in fact, and he can unleash a shot with his right foot. I remember seeing him last season when he was playing for Wealdstone at Aldershot Town. Aldershot Town took the lead in that one, and then Reece Brown popped up and scored 2 goals, and Wealdstone won that one 2-1, and then Woking signed him. Yeah,
and of course he was at Aldershot as well.
He was indeed. Imagine how that went down for the Aldershot faithful. Scores around the grounds. Well, Bournemouth losing at home to Southend United. Dorking still lead at home to Aldershot. Gateshead losing 2-0 now at home to Fylde. Rochdale lead Hartlepool 1-0 at Hartlepool. It's a 1-1 draw between the Harriers and Chesterfield at the moment. Maidenhead United 2, Eastleigh 0. Altrincham lead Oldham Athletic 1-0 away at the moment. Barnet up 1-0 away to Oxford City, and the rest of the games currently 0-0, including here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium in the 35th minute. Woking 0, Bromley 0. Very, very tight, very cagey affair. How many times have we said that so far today, John?
Yeah, and it is that sort of game at the moment, isn't it? You feel that both teams at the moment haven't really threatened.
No.
But when you've got players like Cheek in your side, they can transform games, and it's the same for Woking with Reece Brown.
But it's not to say that either side hasn't really got going either. They're both trying to probe, but defensively Woking have been very, very strong, and Bromley, well, they've not really allowed Woking to get through when Woking have created one or two pockets on the left-hand side in particular with Casey and with Reece Brown.
Yeah, and you know, it's been an absorbing game, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has indeed. But then comes a throw in then on the far side, very, very far, very deep inside the Woking half. It's a long throw, and Cuthbert got his head up there and cleared it away, but it's not gone too far as it comes back in once again. Oh, and Cuthbert, I thought he was going to head it, but I think he got a call from Jaskalainen. He left it, the keeper claimed it, and he bowls the ball out right-handed to the left-hand side there to Denon Lewis, but it was just cut out. But that's what they were doing on Tuesday night. That's exactly what Jaskalainen was doing, getting it down the channels very quickly.
Tremendous throw, wasn't it?
And that's exactly what we need to see more of from a Woking perspective if they're going to start to break through this Bromley defence, because they need to get on the counter-attack here. Very, very cagey. But as John says, rightly, it's been absorbing as well as Bromley have the ball once again. But it's around the middle of the park once more as Olamola has it, plays it down the left-hand channel, but it's going to be cut out. Odosina plays it back to Jaskalainen, who sends it high to the halfway line, but it's a big Bromley head once again on the ball, and won by Leraway for a Woking throw-in just on the halfway line, right in front of the gaffer, Darren Saal. Interesting chat with Darren at the end of the Eastleigh game. I said, you know, a bit of a run of poor results for you. How do you regard it? And he said, I don't tend to think about runs of good results or bad results. About to go live on BBC Radio Surrey for an update in just a few moments' time. They're just going around the grounds at the moment, finding out what's going on at Crawley. But it is 0-0 here, and a Bromley player prone on the floor. And it looks like... is it Topoloj? Yes, Topoloj down there at the moment. Like I say, we'll be going live on BBC Radio Surrey in just a few moments' time, so bear with us. No action going on the pitch at the moment as the Bromley player is down on all fours at the moment. Doesn't look like he's going to need any treatment, though.
And that's what I like to see. Referee having a chat, not flourishing the card. Fantastic.
Using some common sense, exactly.
Absolutely. Seems to have gone out of the game.
Spot on there for John, though. Referee using his common sense, which is great to see as it's back underway. And Leraway has it on the left-hand side now, and he's gone down, but here come Bromley. Edge of the area, ball goes across and put out. Woking retain the ball. Reece Brown has it. Yeah, thanks very much, Rob. It's still a very, very tight, very cagey affair. We were just saying in commentary, really, it's a game that certainly has been absorbing, and both sides have really got underway and are really going at it, but just not creating any real chances. It's very, very cagey. Both defences doing what we expected them to do here. And in the 39th minute, it's still Woking 0, Bromley 0. Well, in comes the throw-in then to Bromley inside their own half, halfway inside their own half on this near side. Bromley shooting from right to left as we look. And the header was won by Michael Cheek, but won in the worst way possible. He puts it out for a throw-in to Woking on the halfway line. He was trying to flick it on, but got too much of the meat of his forehead on it, didn't he, John? In comes a throw. Dan Moss on the right-hand side. Head tennis going on, and good to see Reece Brown there trying to get himself about, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's another player. You know, he's been such a big miss for Woking. He was unavailable, having got injured very early on in the season, and I really, really rate him. He gives Woking something different. Of course, he scores goals, but he also creates space. And he's a very dangerous player.
He's a target now. A bit of juggling going on by him on the right-hand side. I'd like to see Denon Lewis getting more involved in this game so far. I've not said his name anywhere near enough so far today. He was very, very impressive on Tuesday night, creating chances and a real menace out there on the left-hand side. But so far, fairly quiet.
Yeah, definitely. Woking need to try and get the ball to him. Let's see him take his man on. Let's see what he can do, because he is quick, but he's barely featured this half, really.
Feels like they're taking too many touches, Woking, at the moment. They're not getting the ball forward quickly enough, and I wonder if that was maybe the first half game plan. Not to say that Darren's not trying to win this one, but just keep it close in the first half and then look for space in the second to get at them. And Michael Cheek just there took a swing for the ball when it was in the hands of Williams. Morgan Williams was holding it, just grabbed it, and well, it wasn't the cleverest move there from Michael Cheek. If he'd have made contact, he'd have been in the book straight away.
But he didn't.
But he didn't make contact, you are right. But I don't know, it was a strange one, that. I'm not sure what he was playing at. The whistle went and he just maybe signs of frustration for Michael Cheek, because he's not received that much of the ball so far in this game. We are in the 41st minute here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, 0-0.
And the floodlights are on.
They are indeed. Maybe that'll energise the players a little bit as Bromley have it. And wow, very, very good closing down just there from Morgan Williams. And well, you could probably tell from the response of the fans there that they weren't too happy. The ref's whistle went, and it went against Morgan Williams. I could see why, but it's one of those ones that both players, if it was Woking doing it or Bromley doing it, each fan would be of the same opinion, I think. It was well played for, professionally done by Corey Whiteley, earning the free kick, I think. It's a bit of a professional bit of play there by Whiteley. But the free kick was taken early, sent down, headed back by Woking. Reece Brown has it here, and the ball goes out, and it's going to go for a, well, I thought it was going to be a Woking throw-in, but in fact it's been given to Bromley, and he's about 10 yards further than where it should be. The ref blows his whistle and says, look, it's got to be on the halfway line. It can't be 10 yards inside.
And that is a rule that I am pleased to see has kind of come back, which is where players were just literally taking the throw in from sort of 10 yards, 15 yards further from where the ball had gone out.
Just creeping, weren't they? They had the ball behind the head and creep and creep and creep. And there's a lot of Premier League teams where you see players doing it even now, and they creep and creep, and then they seem to be a bit confused why the free kick, or why they've been told to go back a little bit. And the ball was just sent out there, big diagonal ball across the park, and Cheek got his head up there, and I thought Cheek won that one. I think it glanced off his head, but ref says it didn't. It's gone for a Bromley throw-in on this near side, way down the pitch though, about 6 yards from the touchline. So
this is where Woking need to keep switched on with what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to go until half time.
Byron Webster, the captain, is going to take it, and he's going to launch this throw in. I've got to peer around a pillar to see what's going to happen here, but in comes the throw. Very long from Webster, very deep, almost to the penalty spot. Cuthbert gets his head in it, and then a volley way over the crossbar, way over the Kingfield Road end as well. But it was all the makings of a great goal, that one, but except for the finish.
Absolutely. It's either a worldie or out the ground, and it was the latter.
I mean, that's how I normally connect with them, I have to say. They normally go high, wide, and not very handsome.
Well, if you're being critical, you're always taught, aren't you, to get over the ball, and he was leaning back.
He certainly was. No matter how many times I've had coaches say that to me, I could never do it. In comes the goal kick then, and once again Bromley have it, hooking the ball forward, but it's been dealt with by Woking quite nicely. A bit of head tennis going on. Cheek chests it, and Woking come away with it on the left-hand side, just inside the Bromley half now. Casey brings it forwards. Industrious Casey gets forward very quickly. Reece Brown now has it, but he's got the Bromley defender on him the entire time. Bradshaw onto the left-hand side. Casey has it. Looked like he was going to take the cross, then dropped his shoulder. He's now still got the ball. In fact, he plays it forward once more to Zach Bradshaw, plays it back to Corey, right-footed slide rule pass there, but it was cut out by the Bromley defender, and here come Bromley on the attack, but Cuthbert reads it well. And then a very poor pass forward there by Aleroway. There was no one. I'm not even sure who the target was. He just put his right foot through it.
Bromley started the game, I thought, really well on the front foot, pinging the ball around, but as the halves progressed, they've become more and more ragged, really.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I'm sure Andy Woodman will be looking to get them in at half time and settle them down a little bit.
Very, very successful manager since he's been at Bromley. Was part of the Arsenal goalkeeping coaching team, former goalkeeper himself, quite a lot of league appearances. The Bromley manager, threatening here. Here come Bromley, and wow, that was very, very lucky for Jääskeläinen. He came out to clear it. He made a right hash of it, and the ball landed at the feet there of Olamola, but he couldn't quite see where it was. And if he'd have managed to find the ball, locate it in his peripheral vision, the goal was completely empty from the edge of the area, from the left-hand side. Couldn't quite see it, and Woking get away with it. But now Bromley have a free kick about 2 yards inside from the touchline, maybe 3.
Yeah, it was a difficult one, really, in that sort of dangerous area where you're not sure, should you come, should you not, and he decided to come. At least he did get something on it.
I think if you come, you've got to go through the ball. You just have to, put your body on the line, really, in those ones there, because they're at 6s and 7s. But here comes the free kick for Bromley. It's on the left-hand side, as we say, right foot in swinger. And Cheek is looking menacing right on the penalty spot. In comes the free kick, and they've still got it. Oh, and well, beautifully controlled. I'm not sure really how it ended up on the foot of Michael Cheek, because it was cleared away. It came back to him. He took one touch and then kicked it beautifully over the crossbar there for a conversion. So it is half-time here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. It's 0-0 between Woking and Bromley. I think a fair reflection of the game so far. Yeah,
most definitely. I think Bromley started well. Woking, as they say, grew into the game, but neither side has really threatened. Neither keeper has had a meaningful shot to save, and that really tells you everything. There's been lots of tidy, pretty football, but from a Woking perspective, it's that final ball, and they're not really creating anything. And second half, I do think they're going to have to up the tempo a little bit. At times it's been a little bit too safe. Yeah. They haven't moved the ball quick enough, and they need to do that, and they need to get Denon Lewis much more involved in the game.
I think if you were to look at this and say who's the home team, it would be hard to say, wouldn't it? Because neither side's earned that right to be, well, they're definitely in the ascendancy. Bromley have threatened but not really created. Woking is similar.
Yeah, I mean, I think Woking have taken the game to Bromley as best they can, but they haven't been able to really pierce or get behind or get beyond Bromley's defence, and that's the problem at the minute. All the players in front of the Bromley back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it, and there's nothing beyond that at all at the moment. So how are you going to deal with that? Well, you either try and open up the space and run at them, or you try and use the wings, and at the moment Woking haven't been able to do either. The ball's coming into Reece Brown. He's an outlet, but he needs more help, he needs support. He can't do it all on his own.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the forward 4 really for Woking, and it is a forward 4 of Walker, Williams, Lewis and Brown, getting the ball to them more quickly, using their channels in the way Woking like to do. It's great to see Denon Lewis bombing down the left wing. It's great to see Walker bombing down the right-hand side as well. But if they can get there quicker and get that ball in and start maybe using the ground a bit more, that high balls through every single time just play straight into the hands of this Bromley defence.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the good thing is that Woking do have firepower on the bench. They've obviously got the likes of Gregor Cox, Amand, there's Pavey, who gives a different outlet, more physical. And I know Woking fans have yet to see anything of Pavey, but as I say, he does give them different options because he's good in the air.
Not sure if Darren Sarle's going to be looking to change things yet. I think he'll be fairly happy with the fact that they've held on so well, and not held on in a negative way, of course. They've nullified any Bromley attack, and they go in for this half-time team talk right now. We'll be back in around 10 minutes time. Myself, Bryn Lucas and John Moore bringing you the second half action here from the Laithwaite Community Stadium. But at half-time it is Woking 0, Bromley 0. Weird, they seem to be a fair bit behind. Yeah, sure. All good. You need anything different, John? You happy with it? Yeah, good. That's good. You okay with it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fine. We just chip it in. Yeah, feel free to do whatever you want. Yeah. More left, whatever you want.
I'll disagree with you, but which is a good thing as well, because you can be, and you can disagree. Don't whack it if you disagree. But yeah, it is about opinions. It makes it, it's so difficult for referees. No, look at that. You're going, well, I don't think that's foul. I'm going, well, I think I am.
Yeah, you're right. I quite like, because I'm essentially a neutral. I
Yeah.
quite like, I don't like commentating with a hat on, when I did also I was very much a neutral.
Yeah,
Because I don't need to commentate.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's best to try and call it and see it. But it's good because I feel like you're quite neutral as well, you're quite fair.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to. Well, I've been watching football since 1967, so I've kind of seen it all, done it all. I've been like an Ian Nicholson.
Here we go. I am indeed. Cheers.
Mate texted me, said, "That's the most Alan Parsons thing he's never said. Fucking woke up, woke up." Yeah, I just didn't say nothing.
It is half time and it is 0-0, and it's very much a 0-0 this one, and that's not to say it's not been an engaging, exciting match. It certainly has been, but chances few and far between, and when they do get forward from a Woking perspective, it's just a little bit too high, a little bit too far behind the attacking player, and they do keep playing it long and high through this Bromley defence, and every time it does so it gets eaten up. So in the second half it'd be very much liking to see Walker, Williams, Lewis and Brown maybe getting the ball on the deck a little bit more and trying to play it through the lines here against this Bromley defence, who are very, very solid. We know they don't really concede many goals, one a game on average for Bromley, but them coming forwards, Michael Cheek, the danger man, has been very, very quiet. He had one shot that went over the crossbar, another one was controlled, and that's been about it really. It's a story of almost, but no real shots on goal, no real saves for either goalkeeper. 0-0 at half time.
Yeah, a few decisions have been a bit softer.
Yeah, there were a couple. I mean, down there with the defender, I thought that, Depends what hat you're on, especially if you're a Bromley fan.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, yeah.
You're a Woking fan, you're saying it's a free kick. It's like,
What, you played on this thing?
yeah, I think so. Got away with it.
Hopefully better in the second half. We can't get too much.
Oh, we're all like that.
Oh, really?
Then we
We just about beat Wigan.
they played well.
They were number 2 out of the league.
Oh, yeah. Loads of them.
Played up large, I was quite surprised by that.
Yeah, they did play. They had got the power to do it like
Their goal was a massive mistake by us. They didn't really do much else. They might get around. I know what you mean, yeah. I mean, we played it, we get used to it. Ours is the best. It's a big star one. We played the Champions League. It's not a bad thing. Talking to them. Tough place to go, very compact. Fans are right on top of you.
very communicative.
Yeah.
What's going on with your place?
Yeah, massively. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's facilities we got now. Yeah, yeah. The facilities we got is honestly people come in from other clubs. The older chairman came in when this club was Premier League. And he went on radio and said it as well. And he actually said if we as Old Athletic want to be like any club, it's Bromley. Which is an amazing bit of praise for a club in the Premier League. You know, not that one. But yeah, we're massively. It's going totally down to the chairman. Yeah. We've tried since I came in about 12 years ago. Completely off the scales. So that's making sure that what money's being put into players, our chairman doesn't plough money into wages, he ploughs it into investment that thinks it's going to make a return. You know, and also not players that may or may not flop, you know, pay big money. No, it's been a few years, hasn't it, really? We've been down there since sort of very, yeah, past few years. I remember going prior to that. I think we lost 4-0 there about 8-9 years ago. We played Gary Waddock, yeah, that's it.
Welcome back to the Laithwaite Community Stadium here in Woking for this National League clash between Woking and Bromley. A very, very close first half. 0-0 though at half-time between these two. Just having a look to see if there are any changes to the squad. Can't see any at the moment, so let me run through the lineup for Woking. Will Jaskalainen in goal. Back four of Dan Moss on the right-hand side. Scott Cuthbert, Timmy Odesina in the centre, and Josh Casey, the captain, on the left-hand side. Ahead of them, Rowan Ince and Zach Bradshaw in the defensive midfield role, with Rowan Ince being the more defensive of the two. Morgan Williams just ahead of those, with Denon Lewis on the left-hand side and Lewis Walker on the right-hand side of the midfield. And then Reece Brown the lone forward. If it stays that way, or it stays 0-0 for much longer, I expect a couple of changes to come in. They've got the likes of Padraig Amond, they've got Charlie Wakefield, Alfie Pavey, Reece Gregor Cox back on the bench now. It looks like he might be able to make an appearance out here today, and Greg Taylor making up the subs bench for the home side. The away team, well, they're not out just yet. Here they come in their fluorescent pink and blue and purple and every colour in between shirts and shorts and socks. Bromley line up with Grant Smith in goal, then a three at the back of Chinwiki Okoli, Byron Webster and Leraway making up the three on the right hand side. Josh Parsley is on the right hand side and Bez Topoloj on the left hand side, really playing the wing back roles. And ahead of them we got Lewis Lee, Corey Whiteley just ahead, and Jude Arthurs, and ahead of those Olafella Olamola and Michael Cheek. Michael Cheek, the main focal point of their attack, but Olamola, who played at Wealdstone last season, he knows exactly how to score a goal. In fact, he scored 2 in 3 so far this season since joining from Wealdstone. Signed on the 6th of October, so he's fairly prolific. And we talk very much about Michael Cheek being the danger man, but you don't have to look much further from Olamola, who's got 2 in 3 so far this season since joining from Wealdstone, so he could be a danger too. But so far in this first half that we had here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, it was very, very cagey, very, very tight, and no real chances for either side. Well, myself, Bryn Lucas, here in commentary, and sitting next to me bringing you his thoughts is John Moore. And as the players line up, the floodlights are on, the deep dark looking clouds ahead. The rain just fell a few moments ago to give the surface a bit more slippery greasiness. We're underway, but it's been fairly mild as a day. Reece Brown has it on the edge of the area. Woking looking to get at them very, very quickly, and this ball isn't going to go out, so it has to be stood up by the Bromley defender. And well, Ince on the back of Michael Cheek there caught him in the head with his forearm, but nothing was given by the referee, which is good to see play on. And the ball put through there, almost got through to Reece Brown, but snuffed out once again as Dan Moss has it. But a much quicker start in the second half from Woking so far, John.
Yes, definitely. And I'm sure that, you know, that's the message from the manager really, which is, you know, keep paying it on the deck, but we need a little bit more pace in terms of how we move the ball, you know, a bit more tempo to our game.
Well, Lewis Walker had just had it on the right hand side. He tried to play it back to Bradshaw, but it was just cut out. Slightly misplaced pass, and that's been the story of the first half really. Let's hope it doesn't eke into the second half. Reece Brown couldn't control that one, a missed clearance there from Webster, and now Woking have it on the left hand side. Denon Lewis with a little step over, another little step over, takes it to the left. He stands it up with his left foot, but that was really nicely defended, I have to say, by Okoli from Bromley. Stayed on his feet and just managed to close it down and puts it out for a corner kick to Woking. Taken very quickly. Reece Brown has it now. He drifts inside the area, right on the edge, right foot cross, or right foot cross shot really, but no one was there, and Bromley managed to get it away once again. And the referee blows up for a free kick. He was sort of waiting, wasn't he, to see whether or not a Bromley player was going to win the ball after the tackle came in from Rowan Ince, and no one did, so the whistle went. As on the far side we can see the Bromley fans, the Bromley faithful. There's a good number, 50, 60, 70, something like that of them, I'd say, and they're cheering their side along on the uncovered part of the stadium.
I still think we're too nice to away fans. I'd have them in the uncovered bit, full stop. I don't know why we give them part of our big fancy stand, but there you go.
It's so harsh, it's so harsh. Well, the ball is back in play, and Reece Brown just tried to chest it down, but he was muscled off the ball there once again. The Cuthbert there shepherding the ball back to Jaskalainen. He seems to be looking up much more quickly now. Jaskalainen delivers a very high pass, left-footed, and won by the Bromley defender Okoli, but Bradshaw has it, plays it across on the floor to Moss on the right hand side, still inside the Woking half. He tosses the ball up though, and he was aiming for towards Lewis Walker, but no danger, and back to the feet of the Bromley goalkeeper Grant Smith.
And Walker's struggled to get into this game, hasn't he, really? He's kind of floating around, but he's not really involved anywhere near enough. I know we haven't necessarily played to his strengths, but even so.
I think that's a good summary of it. Floating around seems to be, and same for Den and Lewis as well, really. Both of them haven't really got too involved at this stage, and that's more to the fact that they're just not being brought into play. But we said it earlier on, actually, in the first half, in fact, that when Woking were on the attack, particularly looking at Dan Moss on the right-hand side, no one was coming for the ball. They were all standing off him. Woking shooting from right to left in this second half towards, I say, the smaller stand. It is the Kingfield Road end, filled with fans. And a late challenge, but well, he got his foot to it. It was a bit of a nasty noise of shin pad on foot there, but it's come to Walker, who wallops a shot there, right-footed from around 30 yards out, and it sailed just over the crossbar. The goalkeeper diving off to his left-hand side, and it wasn't far over. I think the keeper thought it was going to be much higher than it was, and that was a very nicely taken shot just there from Walker.
Wow, nearly made me eat my words describing him as floaty and not really involved in the game.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous strike.
It was a beautifully struck shot. It just drifted over, but only just. In comes that goal kick. Flicked on, but Cuthbert gets it away. And Casey did really well there. It looked like he was going to go for the ball and then stood away. And the ball goes out for a Bromley throw-in. Around halfway inside their own half. Bromley shooting from left to right. Woking in the red and white shirts, black shorts, white socks, their home strip. Bromley in their away strip, which is every single colour of the rainbow, including fluorescent pink shorts and piping on the sleeves and collar. Well, here comes Lewis now. He moves inside on his right foot. He's drifted inside once. He turns it to Reece Brown, who takes one touch. He's turned the man, and Reece Brown has a shot, but the goalkeeper claims it. And Reece Brown turned his man beautifully as the ball came in. He span around there. The goalkeeper got down low, stifled the shot, grabbed it at a second attempt as Reece Brown almost got his foot to it again. That was a great chance. Reece Brown coming so close to giving Woking the lead.
Yeah, it was, and it all came about because Denon Lewis actually managed to come inside.
Yeah.
He found some space. He did what we've been asking him to do, which is to run at the defence. And as a result, he was able to pick out Brown, and it was a decent save from Smith, who came out bravely.
A really good save, getting down as well as he did and then clutching it at the second chance just there. But Reece Brown so close to opening the deadlock here and locking this Bromley defence for the first time. And it was all down to Denon Lewis, as John says, making his way inside, cutting inside on his right foot from the left-hand side, and then threading a beautiful pass through to Reece Brown, who turned it round his man very, very nicely and got the shot off. And that is warning signs of Bromley, but signs of encouragement from a Cards point of view.
Because we'd said how quiet Denon Lewis had been, and it was good to see him stepping inside this time, because it gave the Bromley defence different questions to answer, and as I say, opened up the space in front of him.
Well, in comes the ball from Jaskalainen. And Woking dithering a bit on the ball now, and the ball has come through to the right-hand side, and it is Arthurs on the ball, and he dives to the ground as he goes inside the area, and the fans, they're screaming at him to get up just there. He was definitely looking for the penalty. The referee had nothing given there. He said no chance, play on, and the ball goes out now for a Woking throw halfway inside the Bromley half just there. The ball comes back to Bradshaw. We'll come back to that moment in just a few seconds, John, as this one plays out a little bit here. As on the floor, the ball has won back once again. Woking starting to get their foot in a little bit more now. It seems like their tempers have started to flay a little bit more, and maybe Woking are starting to get a little bit more involved in this one as the ball goes out on the left-hand side. Bromley have the ball right now, but it's Dan Moss cuts it out and rolls it back to the goalkeeper. But that one there, that was a cheeky little move, wasn't it? Ran forward, and rather than taking a shot there, Arthur, he decided to dive to the floor.
Yeah, it came about as a result of some Woking hesitancy in midfield, and he found himself free. Bradshaw was the one who hesitated, but he did really well to chase back. There was minimal contact, and down the Bromley player went. I'm surprised the referee didn't book him.
Well, it is a Woking ball. They've had it on the right-hand side at the moment, plays it back to Odosina, who plays it forwards, aims as best he can for Lewis Walker, but Lewis Walker can't quite reach it, and it goes out for a goal kick once again. Goal kick to Bromley off to our left-hand side. Into the 54th minute of this one here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. 0-0 between Woking and Bromley around the grounds. Well, 1-1 between Borehamwood and Southend. Dorking still lead Aldershot 1-0 at Meadowbank. 2-0 up Fylde away to Gateshead. 3-1 Rochdale lead away at Hartlepool United. 1-1 between Kidderminster and Chesterfield. Come back to the scores in just a few moments, as here come Bromley on the attack, but cleared away for a corner kick to Bromley. Maidenhead 2, Eastleigh 0, Oldham Athletic 1, Altrincham 2, Oxford City 0, Barnet 2, and 0-0 in the rest of the games around the grounds.
And that caginess we saw in the first half has gone, really. Both teams are going for it a lot more now.
Certainly seems like it, doesn't it? Well, in comes this corner from the right-hand side, and it's Lewis Lee, the midfielder, who's going to take it. Right-footed outswinger. He stands it up just beyond the penalty spot, and the header is won by the Bromley player. Jaskalainen tried to clutch it. It almost fell, though, to the foot of Olamola, and Jaskalainen managed to grab it just ahead of the Olamola boot, which would have sent it into the bottom corner. Worrying signs for Woking, but they get the ball away very quickly, and Casey sent the ball down the left-hand side to Reece Brown, and it goes out, though, for a Woking throw-in, and a substitution is just about to be made, but that was a warning sign for Woking. Jaskalainen dealt with it very well. Let's have a look who's coming on and who's going off, and it is Lewis Lee who's going to be going off for Sam Woods.
Sign from Barnet, I think it was, in the summer.
Yeah, Sam Woods comes on then. Yeah, centre-back sign from Barnet. Making his 10th appearance now for Bromley. On goes the throw-in for Woking. They're still trying to get the ball. It's a bit messy at the moment, but they've got it once again. Ince winning the ball. It goes off to the left-hand side. Denon Lewis took one touch, played the ball forward to Reece Brown, and then defended unceremoniously there by Jude Arthurs. He just slid in and managed to win the ball fairly, and it goes out for a Woking throw deep inside the Bromley half, and it's taken by Casey. Left foot cross for Casey, but there's no one on the end of it once again. You've seen that so many times. These high balls in are not working for Woking. They need to get the ball down on the deck as best they can. That is where they seem to threaten more, as the rain starts to lash down here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium in Old Woking, on the outskirts of Woking town itself. Warning signs for Woking back there with that attack, or that corner from Bromley.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some height, haven't they? And it was a decent delivery.
And then comes a throw in for Woking. And they've taken it, they retain possession. Dan Moss has it on the right-hand side, right-footed. He puts the cross in, but it just rebounds off a couple of Bromley players. And as Okoli tried to clear it away, it was charged down, very nicely charged down, in fact, and it goes off for a Bromley throw-in on the far sides. Around 18 yards or so in from the touchline, in line with the penalty spot. It's charged down, though, by Morgan Williams, who's done that a couple of times in this game, charging down, closing the space.
Yeah, he's not the biggest, is Morgan Williams, but he works really, really hard, and what I like about him is he's that fresh and brave on the ball. He's never afraid to receive the ball.
Well, Bromley just doing what we were talking about in the first half, where you can sort of work your way down the line a little bit here from the throw-in. And the referee didn't call him back or anything, but Casey has it for Aldershot, for Woking, sorry. Got Aldershot in my ears at the moment because I'm listening to the commentary of Rob Worrell, as Aldershot trail 1-0 away to Dorking Wanderers. We're live on BBC Radio Surrey, but here come Bromley on the attack, and it's Cheek who has it edge of the area, left foot shot, and Jaskalainen gets down to the right hand side and superbly turned that one away. It goes for a corner kick, but that was a signal there of what Michael Cheek can do if you give him half a yard.
Absolutely, very decent save from Jaskalainen, but I think Woking will feel aggrieved, because it looked to me like a free kick up the other end for the foul on Lewis Walker. And Woking stopped, which is fatal, and Bromley were away.
Got to play to the whistle, but Michael Cheek was on the edge of the area when he struck that one in. Jaskalainen down to his right-hand side. It was a superb save there for the Woking goalkeeper. In comes the corner, right-footed, very, very deep. One flicked header, and in it goes! And Bromley have scored. It was a deep cross in from the corner kick. very deep in, won by the Bromley head. It went in towards the far side of the goal. Another flicked on header, and it just dropped into the goal just there. Not sure really if that was the greatest goal you'll ever see. A bit scrappy, but a well-worked move from the training ground. And it came down to the fact that Bromley have more height than Woking do, and they managed to make that one go to their advantage in the 59th minute. It wasn't a great goal, but it was a good goal if you were Bromley.
Yeah, it was an excellent set play, really, to the back stick. Look, to me, I think Woking will be disappointed because I didn't see who it was who was challenging for Bromley at the back post, but he wasn't under any pressure at all. He was able to knock it across the goal into that danger area, and the Bromley player was almost on the line and headed it in, but it's a disappointing goal to concede.
Just trying to find out confirmation of who it was that scored that goal. Try and give you confirmation as soon as we can find out. But here come Woking on the attack now. All the work to do now. They trail 1-0 in the 59th minute. And they're going to have to start fighting for this one if they're going to get anything from this game. It's been very, very tight, very, very cagey until this stage. Bromley breaking through. There were the warning signs, but here comes Woking now on the edge of the area. And it was Leraway, in fact, that won that goal, or scored that goal, I should say. So a defender from the corner kick. Bromley lead 1-0. 60th minute, and Woking are going to have to really pull their socks up now and try to create these chances. The rain has been coming down. It's going to be greasy out there. Woking can create chances. They just need to get the ball down now, you think, rather than playing these high balls through, as Bromley are going to start to close this one out a bit more. They can be very, very tight-fisted when they want to be, Bromley. Woking on the attack right now, and the ball was brought down very nicely by Lewis Walker, who's forced back to Dan Moss on the right-hand side. Woking still have it, but they're not really going anywhere. Halfway inside the Bromley half right now, and they've gone all the way back to Cuthbert. Lewis has it on the left-hand side. Plays it back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw into the centre. Williams on the ball. He tucks it forward to Rowan Ince, takes one touch, looks to his right-hand side onto Dan Moss. The rain is coming down very, very heavily here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. And, well, Lewis Walker clutches his face there. He says he was fouled by the Bromley defender. Now, I suspect we'll have differing views on that one just there. They seem to come together, and I'm not sure whether Leraway was really the aggressor, but it's a free kick to Woking right on the edge of the area on the far side, on the right-hand side. Will that favour Casey with his left foot, though? That's the question.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? And he's definitely, I think, going to be the one to take it. It's a good delivery.
Well, the rain's coming in diagonally now here. It's absolutely hammering it down on the outskirts of Woking. Woking 0, Bromley 1, 62nd minute. In comes a free kick. Bryn Lucas here alongside me is John Moore for this National League commentary. In comes the free kick, and Bromley clear it away. It was a nicely taken free kick put on the penalty spot, but Bromley could deal with it. It's a bit messy at the moment, a bit scrappy. Rowan Ince gets his foot in, plays it down to Lewis on the left-hand side, and he puts that cross in, and the cross was won by Okoli from Bromley and goes out for a Woking corner kick. And you can hear the fans around now starting to raise the volume, raise the decibels, trying to encourage these Woking players on. The corner was taken, it was a short corner, and in comes the cross. It's gone too deep though once again, but the ball has been won on the edge of the area and cleared away. The foot was put through it there, and it goes for a throw into Woking on the far side, halfway inside the Bromley half. Woking starting to huff and puff, but so far they're not blowing this house down. We'll be live very, very soon on BBC Radio Surrey for an update here from the Laithwaite Community Stadium, so bear with us. I'll give you more updates as I can before we go live on BBC Radio Surrey, but at the moment Woking have the ball on this near side, attacking from the right to the left. It's gone down to Denton Lewis, who was tugged back, definitely tugged back, and he looks back to the referee, who gives a throw-in to Bromley. So when you want something, it doesn't go your way.
Yeah, but I suspect the ref will say he's unsighted.
Here comes the throw-in then for Bromley. Yeah, we have indeed, Rob. It's been a very cagey first half, as we said, and the second half started off a bit more lively. Certainly the attitude of the players, you can tell they've had a bit of a bawling out by the managers, I think, at half-time. And Bromley took the lead in the 59th minute. It was a corner kick, a very deep corner kick. The header won by the Bromley player, fired it back into the back stick, and then Deji Leraway put his head on it, and it dropped into the far side there, and Bromley lead 1-0. 64 minutes gone now. Woking 0, Bromley 1. Here come Woking on the left-hand side once again. Update just there on BBC Radio Surrey and BBC Radio Sussex, but 0 to Woking, 1 to Bromley. It's not going the Woking way at the moment. They're starting to push, though, as we say. They've just got to try and break through this Bromley defence. They certainly can do, but try not to be too clever with it. They can up the pace, you think that's the way through, because Woking, when they get the ball down and start popping the passes around, John, they do look dangerous.
Yeah, they do. Just wonder how long it will be before Gregor Cox makes an appearance.
Well, here come Bromley on the right-hand side now, and well, the player went to the ground trying to get a free kick, I think. He wasn't really screaming at the ref for the free kick, but it goes out for a throw into Bromley on this near side.
Woking, I think, very unfortunate to find themselves 1-0 down. They really are. They just switched off really from that corner. There's no pressure put on that header at the back stick.
No, the back stick, you say, the header was one, and then when the that little got a touch to it, there's nothing Jääskeläinen could do. It just ended up almost exactly where it was going to end up, in the back of the net once that first header was won. But here come Bromley on the attack once again. Webster has it. He looks up to the right-hand side towards his man, but Casey clears it away. Bradshaw tried to win the ball back once more. Casey's got a bit of the shirt there of the Bromley player, but he's now got free. And Bromley's starting to play the ball around a bit more, and in comes the cross, and well, that could have dropped just in front of Jääskeläinen and onto the head of Cheek, but Jääskeläinen clutched it to his chest as he ran out, and he's now delaying it a bit. He was getting the ball out a bit quicker at Eastleigh, and they were finding their way through. It's been a bit slow to get the ball forward this time round, a bit tentative, and that's really the undoing of Woking at the moment. Unable to get the ball forward as Rowan Ince took one touch, and then it's sent out for a throw into Bromley pretty much on the halfway line.
The good news from a Woking perspective is there's loads of time left.
Certainly is. We're in the 67th minute of this one. But they're going to have to start trying something a bit different to what they have so far in this game. And the ball up high at the moment. Cuthbert trying to win the head. It's come down now, though, to the Bromley player. And Whiteley has it on the edge of the area. He plays it off to the left-hand side. In comes the shot and punched away to the right-hand side once again by Will Jääskeläinen. Got down well to his right-hand side. And that was a very, very nice save from the edge of the area once again. But too much space on the left-hand side from a Woking perspective as one of their players down. This is, I think, Cuthbert down at the moment.
Yeah, it is Cuthbert.
Integral to the defence.
Push in the face or something, but it opened up. And decent save from Jääskeläinen, and Bromley looking dangerous on the counter. They really are. Yeah,
Woking need to close down that left-hand side because it's just opening up way too much. We saw a chance earlier on, wasn't converted by Michael Cheek. But Bromley do look dangerous, particularly down that left-hand side. Cuthbert now has to go off because he's been injured, and there's a corner kick to Bromley, and that's not great from a Woking point of view.
No, it's not, because, you know, he is Woking's best header of a ball.
In fact, Cheek is on the side as well, so they've got two players out of action here.
Cuthbert trying to direct operations from the sidelines,
doesn't he? Cheek and Cuthbert in deep conversation there. I think the corner is going to come in here right-footed. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. and the fans are shouting at the referee as he said they're saying the player has put the ball outside of the corner area, but in comes the corner, flicked away there by Dan Moss. It goes for a corner kick on the opposite side now, and the near side as we're looking, the right hand side, and the chant of cheat can be heard.
Is it not cheek?
It might be cheek. It's either cheek or cheat. I'm not sure which. I'm not sure. It could be because they're saying the ball was put outside of the area. Here he goes again. And in comes the corner. It's going to be a right foot out swinger from Jude Arthurs of Bromley. In it comes. Very deep again, but the whistle goes straight away for a push, I think. Yeah, it was a push, and Cuthbert's still not allowed on the pitch, and on he comes, absolutely screaming, isn't he, at the referee there. Why he was held off for coming on for so long, I do not know. That was a good moment. There was a good couple of moments there that Cuthbert should have come back on the pitch, but wasn't allowed, and that will infuriate the Woking player.
Looks like Bromley are going to make another substitution.
Very, very long clearance there from Jääskeläinen, and Ince has it now in the centre. He plays it to the left-hand side, misplaced pass, but Casey collects it, edge of the area now on the left-hand side. Casey puts a short ball in, nicely done. Back out to Lewis on the left-hand side, the right-footed player who plays on the left-hand side. He tucks it in with his left foot, stands the cross up though, cleared away once again by Bromley, and now they come on the attack once more, and it's Whiteley on the ball. He looks up, he's got a player to his left-hand side, he finds him, and that is Topolage. And well charged down there from the Woking defender Dan Moss, and it goes out for a throw-in to Bromley on the far side.
Yeah, and there's a lot more space out there at the moment, certainly far more than there was in the first half. And you know, Bromley, when they counter, they do look dangerous. They've got pace.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a substitution for Bromley, and it is Olamola who is coming off, and on comes Louis Dennis,
who is a player I really rate. I'm slightly surprised he's not in the Bromley lineup.
Yeah.
He was very, very dangerous in that playoff match last season. And he's a threat.
He certainly is. And another change as well. I didn't quite see who it was, but it's Pavey that's coming on.
Replacing Walker.
And that's an interesting one because, well, we've mentioned Walker fleetingly, I would say, in this game here. He's not enjoyed as much space as he would have liked, and Alfie Pavey now gets the opportunity to try and unravel this Bromley defence as off comes another substitute for Woking, and it is Gregor Cox coming on for Reece Brown.
Bit surprised that Brown's been taken off, because I think he's been Woking's best attacking player, but you know, having said that, he has come back from a long injury break, and you don't want to overplay these players, otherwise we know what happens.
Well, Reece Gregor Cox is the Woking leading goal scorer this season. He's got 5 goals to his name, 4 in the league, so he's not setting the world alight with goals, but of course he has been hampered by injury and has not played in all that many games. He is certainly the focal point of this attack, though it certainly will be now for the rest of this game, as Bromley come on the attack once more. They lead 1-0 here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, the home of Woking, in the 72nd minute. Casey has it. He plays it down the left-hand side, and Lewis has it. Down once more, and after it comes Pavey, who's just been pushed off the ball there, and they're both going for it, and it's getting a bit messy down there on the left-hand side, and the referee has given a free kick to Bromley.
I don't know how he could call that, because it was 6-1 and whatever of a half a dozen of the other. I mean, really.
Prior to that moment,
I think
he
just guessed. I think.
Yeah, prior to the moment where Pavey went down to the floor and swung a foot there at the Bromley defender to Okoli. There was a moment, wasn't there, where
good
my
catch,
sheets
by the
of
way.
paper gets thrown around him.
How's that?
There was a moment where Okoli just pushed him, blatantly pushed Pavey off the ball, and you're not really allowed to do that. You can shoulder bars, but I didn't think you're allowed to get your hands involved. But Bromley have it once again in the Woking final third, but up goes the flag, and that was a clear offside. Woking have it. Jääskeläinen's going to take it. He's going to launch a big one, you suspect.
Well, they have got someone who is decent in the air, Pavey. I say that, but that's, you know, his strength. And certainly Woking fans not really seen a lot of Pavey, and I know there's been stuff on the forum, but you know, you have to give players a chance, and
Yeah, I think you
have to get used to your colleagues, get used to the way of playing. And as I say, whenever I've seen Woking when Pavey's been playing, I don't really think they've done him too many favours with the way they've played.
I've never really been that understanding why fans get on the back of the players they're supposed to be supporting, because once you start criticising players, all you do is put more and more pressure on them, and they're less likely to perform.
Well, I think players, you know, you have to give them time.
Yeah, you certainly do that, and Pavey needs a bit of time here, and he needs a goal, as do Woking. Trailing 1-0 at home to Bromley in the 74th minute. Myself, Bryn Lucas and John Moore bring you this commentary of this National League game. It's going to be a right foot free kick put in there by Williams, and then it comes down to Cuthbert, who waggles a left foot at it and couldn't quite connect from around the 6-yard line. If he could have just connected, maybe it was in the back of the net bulge, but it goes out for a Woking throw-in on the near side. Woking shooting from right to left, halfway inside the Bromley half here, and in comes that throw. Flicked past straight away, flicked on header as well, and a bit of control to the edge of the area. It comes down to Williams, who puts the ball right hand side. I thought he was going to shoot. Moss stands across up now, but headed away by Webster, and Cuthbert's going to have to clear this one up, and he does. He stands the ball up high. It would have been better to see him maybe take a touch or maybe play it back, but Dennis was hunting him down, so he decided to toss the ball up as high as he could and allow his defenders to get back. But Bromley now come on the attack here. Every time Woking get forward, Bromley seem to have an answer for them, and Ince brought down the far side for a Woking free kick. They just need a bit of luck, a bit of composure, don't they?
Yeah, well, I thought Williams should have shot. Instead of that, he took an extra touch. You know, we've said before, it's raining, the pitch is greasy, have a pop.
All it takes is a bit of a spill from the goalkeeper, and you've got Gregor Cox out there now, so he knows how to find the back of the net, that's for sure. And in comes the free kick from the keeper, and it was just sent over the head of the Woking player, who was asking the referee for a free kick, Pavey. And in comes the throw-in for Bromley on the near side. We'll go around the grounds and try and get an update in just a few minutes, but I believe Dorking Wanderers have just taken the lead once again against Aldershot Town in that derby of sorts. Back to the goalkeeper. Jaskalainen has it for Woking. He brings it forward. No one's closing him down right now. Takes another touch, looks up, sends it long with his left foot. And the ball was won there by Bromley, but it ended up at a Woking foot.
And, you know, Woking have somehow got to find a way of unlocking this Bromley defence.
Well, Lewis has it. He plays it through, and it is a shot from the left-hand side. Gregor Cox takes a header. Oh, he puts it onto his head. He tried to flick it back in just there, but it didn't quite go for them. And then in comes Josh Casey, left-footed, tries to find a Woking player on the penalty spot on the ground, but he couldn't do so, and the ball was cleared away. But Woking starting to make a few chances now here in this game, and that will delight the home fans. They need to start converting them, as Cuthbert misses the header, and Jaskalainen grabs the ball as on goes as the Bromley attacker was coming onto it there.
It's just not quite falling for Woking, is it?
No. Gregor Cox with a back stick tried to flick it on, as the rain really starting to come down now. You could probably hear it in the microphones. And walloped away just there for Bromley by Josh Parsley. He might have found some parsley out in someone's field or someone's garden across the back here, but here's a Woking throw-in. Casey's going to take it. Still waiting for this throw-in to come. Here it comes. Pavey, oh no, Bradshaw there. Missed control from Bradshaw, and it goes out for a goal kick to Bromley. Frustrating, because all Bradshaw had to do was keep his eye on the ball there. Goal kick to Bromley, off to our left-hand side. Another left-footed goalkeeper. is Grant Smith. A couple of big saves by him and Jääskeläinen. Mostly Jääskeläinen's had the work to do though. And it goes out for a corner kick somehow. Missed clearance. It goes for a corner kick to Woking. Off to our left-hand side. It's going to be Lewis is going to take it. It'll be a right foot in swinger. Ince surely the focal point of this one. He can score, we know that. He needs to score. Someone needs to score from a Woking point of view. 79th minute. In comes the corner. Onto the penalty spot and cleared away by the Bromley defender. That was a nice corner though, exactly where you'd look for it, right onto that penalty spot. Casey takes the early throw though. It comes to Lewis once again. Left foot cross from him. Taking a touch. Ince tries to bring it down. Cuthbert has an attempt. Comes back down Bradshaw. Ince once again on the edge of the area. Cuthbert looks like he's trying to get it. Ince just falling around at the moment on the floor as Bromley still try to clear this ball away. Gregor Cox is hunting it down but can't quite get there. It's just not falling for Woking at the moment as on they come again with Dan Moss to Ince. A little first time flick there once again to the right hand side. Back to Ince for Woking in his own halfway inside the Bromley half. A misplaced cross from him, but it's not cleared very nicely by Bromley, and it comes down once again to Lewis on his right foot on the left hand side. One little drop shoulder once again cleared there by Bromley with a sliding tackle. Bradshaw has it still for Woking though. Back to Ince. Midway inside the Bromley half. Casey now with the ball on the left hand side. He plays the ball down the left. In it comes from Pavey and it goes out once again for a corner to Woking. And I think it might be Denon Lewis actually who flicked it in, but it was cleared away. It's still a corner kick to Woking on the left-hand side, and Lewis is going to take it. He's predominantly right-footed, but he can stand them up nicely with his left foot, can't he?
Yeah, it's good pressure from Woking, but they need to make it count.
But in comes...
Poor corner.
Yeah, poor corner again. And played all the way back to Will Jääskeläinen, and it's Cuthbert calling for the ball on the right-hand side. But I think it's going to go to the left to Casey. No, Jääskeläinen's still waiting with it.
And Amond getting ready to come on too.
Yeah. And wow,
it's a great leap from Pavey.
It really was. He leapt, he won the header that fell into the arms of the Bromley goalkeeper Grant Smith. 81st minute of this game. Woking trailing at home 1-0 against Bromley. A couple of big saves by Jääskeläinen in this second half. No really big saves, apart from maybe I suppose the one for the home goalkeeper Grant Smith. Substitute though is being made. And on comes Hammond.
For Williams. And, you know, Williams, yeah, he's done well. He's faded a little bit, which is understandable. But, as I say, I like his energy levels.
Yeah, not been quite as effective as he would like. We've mentioned his name a few times, but it's the final ball, isn't it? That end product that's let Woking down this game so far. But still, with 8 minutes on the clock, plus time added on, Darren Saal is now out patrolling his
and Woking really going for it now. You know, they've got 4 attackers on the pitch.
Saal is now way outside his technical area. He got booked, remember, against Eastleigh for being outside the technical area. He's doing exactly the same this time round, standing a forlorn figure really in the rain, but he's now moving his way back into the technical area. Just
he probably heard you.
Yeah, I think the fourth official said to him, get back in. The duly obliged as the ball goes out for a corner kick to Woking off to our left-hand side. It seemed to come from nothing really. Bromley not dealing with it as well as they have been so far in this game.
Now a decent delivery is required from Casey over on that far side. Hit it with that trusty left foot in swinger.
Well,
beat the face defender,
yeah.
So important.
Gregor Cox has been a bit of a menace around the goalkeeper, and the referee's called him over and telling him off there, saying you can't do that. But I'm not sure he was really doing anything. He was just using his body weight and leaning into the defender, who was using his body weight and leaning into him. So
I think referees forget that goalkeepers have hands.
They do, yes indeed.
And arms, which they can use.
But it wasn't even Gregor Cox touching the goalkeeper. In comes the corner. Again, it's too short. Doesn't even make it over the first man.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, You've got an aerial threat there with Cuthbert, Pavey, Gregor Cox. So Woking have to start again now with Jaskalainen looking to find someone.
Murky out there this evening. Deep, dark clouds looming above. And that's been a bit of the story of this game, really, for Woking. They've not been terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but here Bromley come on the attack once again, and it's stifled, snuffled out, and here comes Will Jaskalainen once again with the ball. It's just the final ball, the final chance, the final moment, the composure maybe holding on to the ball for a little bit too long, maybe not enough movement up front from a Woking perspective, and Bromley have done very, very well. They've held them at bay, not been afraid to give away corners, but Woking, every time they've had a corner, have really let the side down, not making it over the first man on many occasions. Frustrating from a Woking perspective. Bromley will be happy with this scoreline in particular, maybe not their performance. It's really coming down the rain now. As a nice ball put down there by Josh Casey, and Lewis gets after it. I think Lewis is going to win it. He takes one touch, and then he was brought down on the left-hand side around 6 yards at the touchline there, and the referee not reaching for a card or anything there, but Denon Lewis took one touch, took it around the defender, and Okoli, well, he's had a couple, hasn't he, Okoli? I don't like this idea of the referee saying, I'll give you a yellow card now because you've had a couple. I think it's a yellow card or it's not a yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, that was a yellow card all day long.
Yeah.
Lewis had got the beating of him, and he just, fouled him.
Just
Simple.
slashed at him, didn't he? Yeah, to bring him down.
And that is a yellow card. Good pace, though, from Lewis.
Don't think the referee's given the yellow card, though. He just, I think, wagged a finger at him and said, get on with it. But out comes the shaving foam onto the pitch, and Casey's going to take this one left-footed. Just a few yards now from the touchline. In it comes from Josh Casey, the captain. And that's gone very deep, aiming for Cuthbert. It does get to Cuthbert. It's one touch, two touch. Ammon was trying to get to it. The Woking players screaming for a penalty, saying there was a handball. The fans too, but away. Oh, that is a body check if ever I've seen one. I'm not sure if Dan Moss meant to do it, but he just collided, ran straight into Corey Whiteley there, Dan Moss, and now he is laying out completely flat prone on the far side of the pitch, and he's going to need some medical attention, I think. Oh no, the referee says he's okay, but that was a collision. I'm not sure if he intended it, but
no,
it was messy.
I'm not sure either, because I think he sort of saw the play right at the last minute.
Yeah.
His view was obscured, and he just ran helter-skelter into Whiteley.
Straight at each other, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And I think the referee, that's the way he's seen it as well. And again, to be fair, it is what I like to see. I hate seeing cards flourished.
Yeah. Well, Dan Moss got up, and maybe he just bounced. Maybe it was like a toddler, bounced off of each other there rather than any significant damage, as Jaskalainen comes out and claims that ball. That was a horrible dropping ball there, but he managed to catch it as he slid in, and he bowls the ball out very quickly to Casey on the left-hand side, who plays it forward to Denon Lewis, still inside their own half though, Woking. Lewis looks up, plays it to Casey once more, who takes one touch, two touches. He's going to have to go back now to Cuthbert. He has it again. And they're getting very physical now, Bromley. Arthurs has been physical in this entire game. He requires on the physicality, doesn't he, there? I think Casey's enjoying it, though. He does like a bit of a scuffle.
Oh, he loves it. He loves nothing better than winding up the opposition.
Yeah. He's going to take the free kick as the captain. Cuthbert heading up there. 87 minutes gone now here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, and it's still Bromley lead. In comes the free kick, left-footed from Casey. It floats over one. Here it comes. The ball's come down. Oh, and the shot came in just there from Gregor Cox, but it was managed to be pushed away somehow there and deflected off for a throw into Woking on the near side. The ball fell to Gregor Cox, and I've got to say, I'd expected to see the net bulge.
Yeah, it's a golden opportunity, but let's give some credit to Smith. He got across ever so quickly to thwart Cox, but it was definitely a chance.
It was a chance and a half, that is for sure. But in comes a corner kick, in fact, for Woking. I wasn't sure which side of the corner flag it went, but it goes for a corner kick, and in comes the corner from the captain, aimed towards Cuthbert. He couldn't quite get there. Ince is chasing after it on the far side. He tucks it round to Bradshaw. Takes a couple of touches, back to Ince. They're not able to get through at the moment though. Ince takes one touch, plays it again. Bradshaw has it on the far side. The ball comes in, it's very deep, aimed towards Cuthbert. Casey takes it down with his chest, plays it off to the left-hand side. In comes the cross from Ammond over to the far side, and Bromley managed to get the ball away. No, they don't! Oh, in comes a shot from the edge of the area, but it was somehow deflected away, and another shot there from Casey, and that was deflected, and it goes for a corner kick to Woking. Two really nice shots there, head over the ball, laces through it, but deflected away each time, and it goes for a corner kick to Woking. And the level from the fans around here, the decibels has certainly grown as in comes the corner. Bromley head on it once again though. Ammon takes a touch, puts it to the left hand side, and it comes back to him now right on the touchline. He flicks in the cross, but it was cleared away once more by Bromley. Resolute defending.
Well, I thought it was another great save from Grant Smith. He's made two really big saves in the last couple of minutes.
He really has. And in comes the corner. Up too early though. And it goes all the way back. And I think Jaskalainen's going to collect. Yes, he is halfway inside his own half, but he's gone for a throw-in. So it's going to be taken very quickly back to the goalkeeper. He looks up. Casey's calling for it on the left-hand side. He thinks about passing it to him, then decides not. Sends it long towards Pavey, and he was held, and the referee doesn't give it, and it's cleared away by Bromley. But when you need the referee to give the decision, it's not given to him. Cheek takes it down in his chest. He keeps on running. He turns back now. He's got two players around him though. Cheek, he takes it to the corner flag pretty much and brings it back.
Great hold up play.
Yeah, it really
Cheek.
was. And that was Parsley who has it now, but he's just being held at bay, and the ball going nowhere. Just stopped in play, but it goes out for a throw-in to Woking. 6 minutes of time added on at the end of this second half. 6 minutes for Woking to claim something from this game, and they've not won here in the league since the end of August. Gregor Cox has it on the left-hand side. He plays it to Lewis, sliding tackle in there, won fairly, and Bromley have it again, sent down the line. Is this going to go out for a throw? Yes, it is. It bounces off the official on the near side. And back to the Woking goalkeeper, who looks up, plays it to Moss on the right-hand side, who plays it back to the goalkeeper. Inside the first minute of 6 here in this time added on. Lewis has it now on the left-hand side, right-footed once again. Pavey trying to give him something, but moves away. Couple of touches there by Lewis, and a sliding tackle sends the ball out by Arthurs for a Woking throw-in. Edge of the area, Bromley half, Woking with the ball. Josh Casey, the captain, has it. Bradshaw screaming at his players to move around, and he collects the ball, but it bounces up off of his knee there. He loses possession of the ball. And the ball now sent forward, and Dennis there. Well, Dennis has rolled one, he's rolled another. Michael Cheek takes one touch, but it does come back. Odosina there for Woking, plays it back to his goalkeeper, but the keeper takes a makes a very, very bad clearance, and it's come back now to Dennis once more.
And Dennis doing the right thing,
yeah,
almost.
Well, Cuthbert managing to get the ball back for Woking, and it goes out for a throw in. The linesman gives it to Bromley on this near side. Darren Sarr clapping his hands together, trying to encourage his players on, but he knows this one is going to be very, very tight. There's only 4 minutes left of time added on at the end of this second half, and it's gone for a goal kick. Goal kick to Woking, off to our right-hand side. Off to Casey on the left. Again to Lewis, who's always come very deep. He collects on the halfway line every single time, and it's almost too deep. As Gregor Cox takes one touch and another, and somehow Bromley come away with it. Dennis has the ball, and he plays it down the right-hand side, aiming for Cheek, but it's been snuffled out by Odosina, and the referee blows his whistle for a push there from Cheek on him. And it's a Woking free kick. But it's getting frustrating because every time the ball's put to Lewis from Casey, he's on the halfway line. He needs to get himself further down the line, you think, into the channel. He's calling for it now on the left-hand side, but the delay, the ball is now put forward, and it was Gregor Cox who took it on his chest, and it's cleared away first time by Okoli. And Woking have it once again. The throw-in comes in. Bradshaw has it halfway inside the Bromley half, left-footed into the box. But it's cleared away, back out to Bradshaw, left-footed from him. He just tossed it back up there, didn't quite hit the target, but it's bobbled around a little bit there and almost fell to the foot of Gregor Cox. But down goes Grant Smith, the Bromley goalkeeper, clutches the ball, messes around with his socks a little bit just to pull them up. Takes a few more seconds off the clock into the 94th minute of 96. Bounces the ball a few times. We're going to go for an update on BBC Radio Surrey and BBC Radio Sussex in just a few moments time here, with only 2 minutes left on the clock of this one. And Woking finding it very hard to get any real opportunity every time they have. Bromley have somehow managed to get a body behind it, whether that's a defender or a goalkeeper. Bradshaw with the ball off to the left hand side to Lewis, into Gregor Cox. We're about to go live for an update on BBC Radio Surrey. And the ref blows up for a free kick to Bromley. More of a delay here. Well, it's the same story with the goalkeeper Grant Smith taking an age there to take a free kick, and it is in the 94th, coming up to the 95th minute of 96 here, Rob, and it's Woking 0, Bromley 1. Woking have huffed and puffed but just failed to break them down in the final third. A couple of chances, but every time they've had a chance, some Bromley body has got behind it here. So 1 minute to go, and Bromley lead 1-0. Ball goes out on the near side for Woking, opportunity just there, and once again the story of this game just not falling to the foot of the player when it needs to, and Gregor Cox there had a chance almost, but it goes out for a Woking corner in the final minute.
Yeah, but you've got to give Bromley some credit. You know, they've defended very well, and their keeper has made two big saves to keep them in it.
Certainly has done. Both goalkeepers have made big saves. Will Jaskalainen with two spectacular saves to his right. And in comes the corner, near side, near post even, and it was won but sent away unfortunately. And here come Bromley on the attack. You fear they're going to hold it up a little bit, but here they come. Oh, and a sliding tackle from Arthurs. It wasn't actually that bad, the tackle. It was a sliding tackle, and it's getting a bit messy down here now, just in front of us. I don't think it was as bad as maybe the players all think. You know, when one player reacts, they all react.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't think it was a particularly naughty tackle.
No.
Casey went piling in, and of course that set off a whole melee. And the players just really need to calm down and let the referee sort it out. There's no need for Casey either getting into the referee's ear. Let the referee make the decision, you know.
He has
it was a hard tackle. He went through, you know, but I didn't think there was anything naughty. It certainly didn't merit the aftermath.
No, absolutely. He's been a very physical player this entire game, has Jude Arthurs, and he gets a yellow card here. And I think a yellow card really is more than he should have got. It was a challenge. It was a tough challenge.
Yeah,
it was a football challenge, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It was more the way that Lewis, you know, went up in the air and sort of fell into touch.
Yeah.
But as I say, you know, he wasn't late. I think he went in very hard.
And I don't even think, Lewis wasn't play acting either, by the way. Lewis just went up in the air because that's how the challenge took him. But
you can see, you know, Lewis is fine.
Yeah, and Josh Casey's just been booked as well, probably for the words he's been saying and his actions as well, as he piled in straight after. But it's in the 97th minute of 96 here, and Woking got a free kick, their last chance. Here it comes from Casey, and it ends on the head of Ince, who flicks it, and it goes wide of the goal. The keeper, well, he does a Fosbury flop, doesn't he, there off to the left-hand side there, much to the annoyance of the Woking fans behind the goal. That was one for the cameras, more to annoy the home fans, really. That's there, Grant Smith. And it goes out for a goal kick, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, and you think that was Woking's last opportunity.
And it was a disappointing free kick, really. Yes, Ince won the header, but it was never going to score from that point. Flicking on, hoping maybe that there was somebody there running in on it, but that's been the story of this game. And Bromley are moments away from winning here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium as the goalkeeper Grant Smith sent it out left-footed for a throw-in to Woking here on the near side. It comes in early. Maybe there'll be another minute or so, but I'm not sure. As again it's sent off for a throw-in to Woking just inside the Bromley half, moments away. It's not been a bad-tempered game by any stretch of the imagination. Arthur's, yes, he's been physical, got the yellow cards, and as it's cleared away by Bromley for a throw-in, the referee blows his whistle, and it ends here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. Woking 0, Bromley 1. Chances for either side. In all fairness, it could have been a draw, maybe should have been a draw, but Bromley got that one chance. They took it in the 59th minute from the corner kick that wasn't dealt with from a Woking perspective. Bromley with DJ Aleraway getting his head on it on the far side, just turning it in. Nothing that Jääskeläinen could do, but Woking did have chances. They'll feel, I think, disappointed that they leave here with nothing.
Yeah, very much so. I think overall Woking played very well. I think a point apiece would have been a fair result, but we know that doesn't matter. Bromley came here, they did a job, they defended resolutely, and you know, Woking were punished for giving away a really, really soft goal. They switched off from a corner and they were punished. And Bromley also have to thank Grant Smith. He made 2 excellent saves late on. It could have been so different, but unfortunately Woking empty-handed at home again.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget the 2 big saves that Jääskeläinen made as well. One from Michael Cheek from the edge of the area. He looks like a very, very assured goalkeeper, doesn't he, Jääskeläinen in the Woking goal. And I'm not quite sure what Darren Sarll can do, because it feels to me like Woking are just on the edge of getting these results, but they're just that final moment, that final decision, maybe that final bit of composure, that bit of luck that you need to turn the corner. We thought they'd turn the corner maybe at Eastleigh, but here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium, which needs to be a fortress, they're just not quite getting the job done.
Yeah, they were punished today. They switched off from that corner. And as I say, I thought they played well today. It's certainly the best I've seen them play for some time. You know, missing Kellerman, he's a big player for Woking. He really, really is. Get him back into this side, and I think Woking can make progress.
Absolutely. Well, we'll leave it here. We're going to go another update live on BBC Radio Surrey and Sussex very soon. From myself, Bryn Lucas, and from John Moore, thank you very much for your company here in this game at the Laithwaite Community Stadium that ended Woking 0, Bromley 1.
I agree with you down here. It was, you know, in days gone by, nobody was better than I did. He didn't go in high, he was hard. It was a perfectly good tackle. It's just one of those always ends up more focused. Because, you know, Lewis was off balance as well, so maybe not.
I think it's one that still makes you go, right, wasn't down, you know, here's your...
we have a room where we do them now. So I'll show you in a moment.
Yep, I am indeed. Oh, it's sort of livened up a little bit. I say it sounds like a party atmosphere at Forest Green Rovers, but it's not a party atmosphere here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. It's completely silent, as you can probably tell around here, and that is the story of this game, really. First half was very, very tight, very congested. Wasn't the greatest game. It was engaging, but wasn't the greatest game of football I've ever witnessed in my entire life. The second half did come to life, as you say, and there were a couple of moments really that threatened to almost spill over, I suppose, but all the players managed to keep a lid on it all. There were some moments there for Bromley. They took the lead, and then there were a couple of chances. Michael Cheek from the edge of the area with a great shot, and Jaskalainen getting down to his right-hand side to push it round the post for a corner. A couple of moments like that, really. Jaskalainen being forced into action twice. But really, at the other end, there were some great saves from Grant Smith, from the Bromley goalkeeper. He was forced to make a couple of saves. I mean, they got the body behind it a few times, but in all fairness, really, Woking huffed and puffed and just couldn't quite get it over the line. They missed it at the final moment. They missed composure, and they missed a bit of luck, and it finished here at the Laithwaite Community Stadium. Woking 0, Bromley 1.